Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. How are you?
Great.
Wow, great. It is 1:51 a.m. on Tuesday, June 17th. What was that?
Except for the fact that it's 1:51 a.m.
Yeah, that is
we
true.
We ain't in bed yet.
That is true. Late pod or early, depending on how you want to look at it, because I just wrapped up commentary for day 2 of the 250K Super High Roller. I was alongside Jeff Platt. It was a pleasure to work alongside of him for this one. I just put it out there on the old Twitter, on X. If you missed this stream, go back and find it. It's available on PokerGO.com. It is available on the PokerGO YouTube channel. It had everything. Absolutely everything. It had Ivy. It had Negreanu. It had Martin Kabrhel being Martin Kabrhel. It had maybe the hand of the summer. Not maybe. For sure the hand of the summer. At least up until this point, it was definitely the hand of the summer. That was by D. Peters. You can see that hand on the PokerGO X account. So check that out if you missed it. An incredible hand. It happened on the direct bubble of the 250K buy-in Super High Roller. There were big hands. There were excellent plays. We had an incredible audience with us. I mean, the whole thing, just from start to finish, was just absolutely wild stuff. You had Nick Schulman, some choice words for Martin Kabrhel. So yes, if you missed it, go back and find it, or maybe you fell asleep because it was a late one. Definitely watch the whole thing through. It was awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. So we'll hit on that because they are down to the final table. We got the Big O, the 10K Big O Championship is also down to the final table, down to the final 5. We'll touch on that one. Salute to Warriors is playing down. Monster Stack is playing down. 2500 OE is playing down. And then, of course, other events that kicked off today here at, I always, whenever I say that, it always pops in my mind to say here at the Rio. And then I have to catch myself and I got to say here at Horseshoe. So here at Horseshoe and also Paris, of course. What's on deck for Tuesday? The ARIA High Roller Series, we'll touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
We already hit on it. We had a winner last night. There was another event today. And then a little bit of fun because I guess today is Bob Smith Day.
It is.
I don't know exactly what Bob Smith Day is, but we'll touch on that. Tim's wearing a shirt that's got Bob Smith all over the damn thing. So we'll hit on what Bob Smith is. If you would like to get in on the mix and you're fiending for some poker, go check out playpokergo.com. It is the home to free online poker. It's real, authentic online poker. Yes, it is free, but trust me when I say it does feel like the real thing. There are real players. There is real strategy involved. There is real fun, real competition out there. Ring games, tournaments, sit and goes. And you can do it all for bragging rights on playpokergo.com. Sign up, get in the mix, see how you stack up. Maybe you'll battle against Tim or myself. He's Tram Stop on there. I'm Brosco. Okay, so hop on in there and battle with us. Producer Rich, by the way, is in there. He created a new name called Producer Rich, and he's trying to run it up in the new No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes. Those are the jackpot sit and goes that are now on playpokergo.com. They are No Gamble, No Future themed. No Gamble, No Future, the show, it has the Wheel of Pain. Yep. Well, in the game, it has the Wheel of Gain. Beautiful. You spin it, you see how much you're playing for. Rich is out there grinding. He's trying to get as high as he can go. So if you see Producer Rich, that means you're playing with the producer of this podcast and bust his ass. Yeah. Let's bust his ass.
Make
Let's go.
Rebuy.
Okay? Blow his bankroll. Like, let's freaking go. So that's playpokergo.com. Join for free now. You can also download it on iOS and Android. We will see you at the tables. And if you do happen to get into a No Gamble, No Future themed sit and go with producer Rich Ryan, let us know. Email us in. Tell us how you wrecked his face, okay? Podcast@pokergo.com. And we will talk about it here on the podcast. So let's go, baby. All right, Thomas Boivin. I was told it was Boivin. Boivin. I said Boivin always until in the booth.
That's a very French pronunciation there.
Jeff said that Thomas Boivin corrected him. So now I got to say it Boivin.
So fancy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. That's probably wrong too. He leads the 250K Super High Roller. 8 players remain. Boivin has a big lead, 25 million. Ben Tollerine in second with 15.4 million. Alex Fox in third. Alex Fox won this event before.
He did.
14.5 million. Seth Davies, our boy.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Sethy, baby. Team DPMD. He's got 10 million. Bryn Kenny's there. David Peters is there. Martin Kabrhel is there, and Chris Brewer. Martin Kabrhel and Chris Brewer. Chris Brewer also won this event before. Martin Kabrhel and Chris Brewer, two of the shortest stacks remaining. They are guaranteed $581,000 up top, north of 4.75 million. 63 entries in this one this year, so down a bit. You know, I know it's only down 12 entries from last year, but when the field is as, you know, small as this, as exclusive as this, then it is a good percentage, right? So why? What gives? I mean, you're the stat guy, the numbers guy. You talk to all these players. This is a PGT event, right? So why is it down?
I think the big thing is that just standard WSOP variance. What I mean by that is we had a lot of people still in the Big O. You know, we're going to look at the final table, talk about that next, but there's a player on that that's probably going to be good for a bullet in this, maybe two. So that happened a lot. You know, we had Nick Schulman play the Big O. Only was able to get one bullet. I'm not saying Nick Schulman's going to get multiple bullets in, but he got in very late. So it does limit the chance for the entries to go up. And we saw that kind of across the board. Also, we touched on it yesterday. A lot of names that we would expect to be in this event, not in town, not here. Got Charlie Hook, Bill Perkins, Vinny Langham, Brandon Stephen, Kathy Laney, David Einhorn, you know,
Kerry Katz didn't
play,
right?
Katz, Chamath. I don't think Sam Soverall played. But, you know, that's 10 people there. That might be, say, 12 entrants, which is, you know, that puts us right back at 75 that we had last year. So there's a bit of that. And look, yeah, like you said, when there's a small field size of 75, you know, 80 entrants is what you're kind of targeting. You know, having 12 playing other events or not in town is going to make a pretty big difference. And it's kind of the tough things about these super high buy-in, high stakes events.
Yeah, I thought the field in this one was pretty tough. Not that it hasn't been tough in past years, but I feel like some people might have sat out on the sidelines because of how tough it was. You know, so there's that. You know, like last year you had a guy like David Coleman, for example, took a shot. This year didn't take a shot.
Yeah.
So is it just because...
planning on it though.
Yeah, you know, and maybe he looked around and said, you know what, a little tough there, so I'm just not going to do it. And that's understandable. I mean, the field did seem very, very, very tough out there in this one. Of course, you have that kind of variance with things, with just people getting stuck in other tournaments. You know, like Nick Schulman's an example. Yeah, he got a late start, and I agree with you. You know, it's not to say that Nick Schulman doesn't put, or is guaranteed to put multiple bullets in this with 2 bullets allowed. But let's say he gets in and then he busts someone that could then enter another. Like, so it's that whole butterfly effect of things with people not getting in there. So nevertheless, still a very, very good event. As I said earlier at the top of the show, I would highly encourage you guys to go find this live stream on PokerGo.com, on the PokerGo YouTube channel if you missed it, and check it out because it was a lot of fun. The final table will be live streaming on Tuesday. Stream begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So check that out as well. Jeff Platt and Brent Hanks on the call, Natalie Bodie on sidelines. I do want to hit on this hand from David Peters that I think was the hand of the summer by far.
Okay.
By far. So absolutely incredible stuff. I'll allow Rich Ryan, producer Rich, he can drop the highlight video here, the clip for video.
They don't know you, man. They don't know you. They have no clue you are the poker superstar.
Poker fans saying, win or lose,
oh
I'm
my
proud
God.
of Dean
I can't
Eggs.
even breathe, like,
Wow.
Can't even breathe.
Jack
How is
8
this possible?
aces.
What-
How
what
does
kind
that
of
flop? How is this
thrill is
possible?
Is it me?
Yes, sir. And it's
Can I
important
look
to
at my
note,
cards?
Donnie, that these two were talking about it earlier. Negreanu will care the least out of anybody that just, it's the bubble. Like
Daniel doesn't
you've heard
look
it in the
happy.
vlog,
David,
right?
He never
Not
looks
nearly as
happy.
ICM conscious.
So, let's do
Wants to win the tournament.
like a bet. About $200. No, 200 euros. Make it expensive for the Romanian.
200, a minimum bet here from Kabrhel. He flops
Bubble.
trip 8s.
Bubble. No, no, no. Not like that.
A call from Daniel. Daniel also has backdoor
I think
diamonds.
it's
And
crazy.
Peters has backdoor
Playing on the bubble,
spades.
when there is the guy
Again,
who's
how
gonna
does this
bust now,
flop roll off?
it's crazy. I can't even breathe.
Once again, we are on the stone bubble
I do
of this
everything for you,
$250,000
Bryn, okay? I will
buy-in
make it.
tournament, the biggest
Don't
poker
worry.
tournament of
You
the
will
summer.
get your 16,000 profit. You have 2 bullets? 2 bullets, yeah? 16,000 profit. It's not bad for you for today's work. It's not bad.
750.
Whatever's meant to be.
Check raise from D. Peters makes it 750,000. And this check raise here could ultimately save Daniel. Like, there's a world where it goes check raise like this, call. Maybe Daniel just says, you know what?
Or at the very least, he calls here, but it
Yeah,
saves
yeah.
him on
Yep.
future streets.
Exactly.
Time extension.
SD Ugly rooting for the case jack on the turn. Poker fan said D-Negs can get away.
Alex Foxen over here to sweat the action.
They are hand for hand, so
One
one hand at each
425.
table.
Wow, D-Negs is going to be able to
Look
get
at that,
away.
and a quick fold out of D-Negs,
1
understandable.
425, I said. 1 425, I said.
Loses the absolute minimum
That's correct, yeah.
again.
I think you said all in. I think they both said all in, called to the back. Go.
Action back over to Peters. He makes the call. This pot, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, is 4.5 million.
On the stone cold bubble of the 250K super high roller.
My time back.
Wow, spade on the turn.
love my time
Spades
banks.
coming in.
Funny sentence.
Peters, ace of spades in his hand. I think Daniel just told Alex what he had, and Alex said, wow.
Obviously. Actually, I didn't even like David's raise from the big blind.
And you can hear them talking about the hand. They are mic'd up. The players can't hear them at the table, but we
Right,
can
right.
hear them.
You might be safe.
Kabrhel checks back. 9 of clubs on the end.
Yeah. The rules for fucking main events. And it's totally fine in main events. I have no issue with the rule.
2 million.
2 million is the
Decision
bet.
time.
Mullen.
Oh, my!
How much?
Oh, no! Oh, my gosh.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, this is sick if you're Martin Kabrhel.
We keep that on my
Peters here having a couple of things working for him. 1, ace of spades in his hand. 2, the jack does work to block some hands that can make full houses. Look at the crowd circulating. Not only do we have all the fans and the media, we have all the players fascinated by this. And Martin lays it down.
David
Deep
Peters!
Peters.
Oh, my!
It was electric. The chat went nuts. Jet Platt shot up out of his seat next to me. Just absolutely incredible stuff. That was the hand of the summer. Just wild, wild, wild stuff there from David Peters. He did not show. He should have said, "Say my name, Martin," but he didn't.
Definitely should have said
He
that.
didn't. He also could have showed, and I think Martin would have lost his freaking mind. But just absolutely grade A stuff from David Peters. Another funny situation that happened. It happened before the money bubble, but at one point, and listen, pardon my language, but I'm just quoting here. Nick Schulman called Martin Kabrhel a pussy on stream.
Whoa.
On stream. I mean, what is going on out there?
What did you do to deserve that?
I mean, he was just being Martin Kabrhel.
Yeah, it makes
So,
sense.
you know, Nick, I think, just kind of had enough of it. just went at him. So, yeah. The Martin Kabrhel show was in full effect. Now, I got to ask. I was going to ask this anyway, okay, knowing that Martin Kabrhel made the final table here and all the antics, not only that we saw today, but throughout his entire time at this World Series, at the World Series every single year, and in all the events that he ever plays. But I also saw that Poker News wrote about it. They had an op-ed up. Is Martin Kabrhel, are his antics good for the game? What say you?
No.
No! Oh my God, why?
They're annoying. They're annoying to me. They're annoying to the players. And I don't like it.
I mean,
I don't know if...
I have to disagree.
Look, it's the players definitely don't enjoy it. They find some things funny, but I think the majority of the time they're miserable. You just watch Chris Brewer hiding under his hoodie as he's sitting next to him.
He seemed fine with it.
He seems fine, but also at times it feels like he wants to kill someone. I don't know if the general public that are watching either on the rail or at home enjoy the Martin Kabrhel show, or I hate watching the Martin Kabrhel show.
Both?
Sure. But I don't think it's great. But, you know, he's not really doing anything out of line, is he? He's not really... He's flirting with that line, but he's not sinking below it. So it's kind of within the rules. I'm just not a big fan of it. That's all.
Yeah, I think they're good for the game. You know, I think he certainly makes it entertaining. He brings a very wacky, a very chaotic, unorthodox element to these high rollers that you don't normally see. A lot of these guys, when they play, are hyper focused. You know, we joke that they are robots and that's how they act. But, you know, again, because they are just so hyper focused on everything. And Martin just throws a big wrench into all of that.
Yep.
I even think that, you know, for now, I think the hardcore poker fans probably dislike it. You know, there's probably a percentage of them that like it. Yes, there's probably I would say a larger percentage that dislike it. I say the more common poker fan, somebody not as hardcore, a little bit more fringe, and then even extending beyond to people that are like just kind of like new to watching poker or whatever, I think they probably think Martin's wildly entertaining. Now, I think that's good for poker. I mean, I when I'm on commentary, I see in the chats nonstop. You get these high rollers, and it's just like, this is boring, this is boring, this is boring. I mean, live poker, watching it takes, you know, a certain level of being a hardcore fan, being a diehard to really watch every single hand. So you constantly see the complaints that it's boring, it's boring, it's boring. These players are boring. You know, where's the table talk? All this sort of stuff. And you get some of that on the other side when you have someone like Martin, but ultimately I think that a lot of people were watching, laughing, you know, both with him and at him. I also think that the audience likes the fact that other players kind of go at him. Like I think at this level of poker, a 250K super high roller, also like 100Ks, 50Ks, etc., those players aren't scared to kind of go back at him, you know, have their banter. You know, we had Negreanu the other day. I know he wasn't in the tournament that Kabrhel was in, but he was yelling from the final table, like, can you shut the F up over there? You know, they kind of go at him. He was saying the other day, like, can I kick you in the teeth or something like that? You know, Brent Kenny goes at him at times. Nick Schulman, obviously, calling him a pussy today, you know, on the stream. So there's a lot of going back and forth with Kabrhel. Now, when Kabrhel acts like this all the time in tournaments. Doesn't matter if it's this buy-in or a much smaller buy-in. And he has played much smaller buy-ins. The much smaller buy-ins, I think people are kind of like, you know, kind of taken aback with the whole thing. And they don't know how to act against him. But overall, I think it's good for poker because it's entertaining. I would probably say that Martin Kabrhel's act is better for poker than Phil Hellmuth's act is good for poker.
Ooh.
Because Phil, every time Phil has an act, it's like degrading to the other person. Always. It's like calling him an idiot. These people don't know how to spell poker, this, that, and the other thing. Like he's always looking negative. Kabrhel is, he is walking that line, you know, a lot of times with, I mean, he's walking the line with like how far he can press you. right? He's like constantly annoying, you know? I mean, he's the guy who puts his finger like right next to your face, but ultimately doesn't touch your face. And then if you were to grab my finger, I'd say like, why'd you grab my finger? I didn't ever touch you. You know, but he's got his finger right here. Like that's Martin Kabrhel, right?
Yep.
Whereas Phil is just like, no, you're an idiot from Northern Europe and you shouldn't be here doing this. You don't know how to spell poker, this, that, and the other thing, which, you know, I think that's ultimately worse for poker. Why do you want to be berated if you're playing? Now, I know some people, that's kind of like a little trophy. Like that you want to get berated by Phil Hellmuth. But now, I will also say that I know that Martin has come with his fair share of controversy in the past. You know, there are things out there that players say, they come at him, you know, they kind of question him at times. Like today up there, the big thing was that he wasn't showing his cards. The dealers had to keep telling him to show his cards. Like, it's just like this whole thing, right? So I understand that there is that part of it. But I think overall, it's probably good for poker and the WSOP that he acts this way because it gives some color to the game. And if we're going to allow Phil Hellmuth to be the colorful character that he is, and people are going to applaud him for the way that he is and say that what Phil Hellmuth does is ultimately good for poker because it draws in more fringe poker fans to want to be entertained by the game and come in, then I think we can only say the same for Martin Kabrhel. I mean, that's my stance on it. So now, I also say that I've never played with Martin Kabrhel. I haven't been there at the table, right? So maybe I do get annoyed by it. But, I mean, players are going to be annoying. And you have to kind of get through that in poker. Like, you have to be able to deal with... I've played with plenty of annoying people. Now, they're not Martin Kabrhel specifically, but, you know, there are times when there are plenty of annoying people at the poker table, and you don't really want to deal with them, but you do, and you can't let them affect you and throw you off your game and, you know, tilt you. So, yeah, I think it's good for poker overall. I think is evidenced by the fact that, you know, obviously very small sample size here, but the chat seemed like they really did like, you know, this wacky character. There are definitely a lot of people that love to hate him, or they hate watch him, as you said, but you know, I think overall it's probably a good thing for poker because it does make the game a bit more entertaining. And at times he did also kind of loosen up the other players. He got them talking a little bit where maybe they don't talk. So, you know, there's that. I mean, even Christoph Vogelsang at a couple points talked about whatever he was eating at the table.
I did see that.
And I'm not sure I've ever heard Christoph Vogelsang talk at the table. Let's slide on over to the Big O 10K Big O Championship event. There are 5 players remaining. They bagged at 10 p.m., which seems early. Why'd they bag so early?
Well, as the structure sheet says, bag at five players.
They got to change this.
And they asked the players if they wanted to keep playing. 2 of them said, "Nope, I'm good. 5 p.m.
All right.
I'll see you guys tomorrow." So they're going to come back tomorrow to complete the Big O Championship.
I think there was 402 entries in this one.
Yes, that sounds right. Yes,
$784,000 for first place. 5 remain. They're all guaranteed $181,000. Marco Johnson, crazy Marco, is the chip leader. Victor Blom.
The year of Victor.
The year of Victor Blom. He's got 5 million. He's not far behind Marco Johnson.
Good luck with this name. Yep.
Vonghai Barana.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
I mean, I think that's pretty good.
You nailed it. 10 out of 10.
He's right there with Victor Blom. Sean Rice, I can say that name. He's also right there. And then Phil Hui, also in the mix. So 3 of these 5 players, 25K fantasy drafted players, Marco Johnson, Victor Blom, and Phil Hui. So they are going to be out there battling for the 10K Big O Championship title that will play out on Tuesday. Won't be streamed, but I would imagine they do some check-ins.
Yeah.
Especially if it's Victor and he gets number 1. I mean, Victor has had an incredible summer already. Tim and I have talked about it quite a bit. So if he is able to go on to win this bracelet, that would just be great stuff for the man formerly known as Isildur. And also, I know you mentioned it, but Victor, one of those guys that we likely would have seen him in the 250K.
Yes.
But because he is still in this event, he was unable to play the 250K. So would say that's at least 1 bullet, maybe 2, depending on how things go, of course. So Victor Blom going for it in the Big O Championship. Joey Cooten leading the final 32 in the Salute to Warriors. That's not a name I thought would be leading the $500 buy-in Salute to Warriors. Joey Cooten. I mean, mostly plays all the mixed games. Not that he can't play No Limit, of course, but that's pretty wild. So 32 remain out of 3,937. They are guaranteed $5,800 first place, almost $188,000. Reminder, this one, $500 buy-in, $40 from the buy-in goes to the USO, goes to that charitable organization there.
What's a little math here? See how much they raised at 40?
I believe it's 40. I think it's 40.
$192,000 donated to USO.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's awesome.
That is sweet. So Joey Cooten is the chip leader there. That one will also play to a winner, I believe, right? Play to a winner on Tuesday? Yeah, 32 to a winner, but this structure will be a little bit faster as they go deeper. So definitely would expect that one to finish. It is a little weird that they don't have any winners today.
We had a very early day yesterday.
The Big O is scheduled as a 4-day event, so it was not expected to get to a winner today. But yeah, it is a little bit weird that there are no winners today.
So we had 3 winners early yesterday. Yep. We had no winner, and we were out of here by 10 p.m. pretty much. No winners today. Tomorrow we're looking at possibly 1, 2, 3, 4 winners. So it feels a little weird. But
so I talked about how one of the things that I would do if I was doing the schedule is I was kind of trying to make it where you have people like Daniel Negreanu would be here playing every single day. Remember? I would also have it where there's a winner every single day.
Yep.
I just think that constantly saying so-and-so won a bracelet, so-and-so won a bracelet, that just reaffirms that the WSOP is happening, and winner stories are always at the top of the headlines. Like, yeah it's great to say, Thomas Boyven leads the 250K. It's great to say, Victor Blom is going for a bracelet, but it's not a win. It's not a bracelet moment, so there's that. Also, I forgot to mention, this is my own fault, but in the 250K Super High Roller, Daniel did cash. He got 9th place for $581,000. He was on 1 bullet, so
profit, baby.
Big profit. Not just profit, but big profit. Bao Ding finished in 10th place for $516K, so even if he fired 2 bullets, still a $16K profit on that, but if you fire 1 bullet, of course, a bigger profit. But I wanted to point out Daniel, he doubled up Alex Foxen, Negreanu's ace queen to Foxen's 10s, and then he lost with ace 9 to Foxen's ace king. I believe it was. Daniel 3-bet jammed out of the big blind. Foxen snapped him off with the ace king, and that was that. But another deep run, another final table run for Daniel. He's having a very good summer. He does profit nicely there. Amanda was in the chat today, sweating the action, watching the stream, and she did say at one point that Daniel was only on 1 bullet in the 250K. So good profit there if you are invested on him through his poker stake package. That is some good profit there for D-Negs. This episode of the PokerGO podcast is brought to you by Oats Overnight, the official protein-packed breakfast of PokerGO. Oats Overnight is built for the poker lifestyle. High-protein, drinkable oatmeal that's gluten-free. It's made with real ingredients and ready whenever you are, whether it's late-night grind or an early start. Fuel up with a healthy grab-and-go breakfast. It's right here. It's all over
everywhere,
here.
all over.
We love it. I do really love it. I've had one every single day. I did not have one today. So up until today, I had one. I didn't have time to get one today. I came in today. I ended up putting one in the fridge, and then I got on commentary, and I'd never had it. So I'll have it tomorrow. But fuel up with a healthy grab-and-go breakfast that actually tastes good. It does taste good. Trust me. I'm a fan of is it chocolate peanut butter? Peanut butter chocolate? It's either chocolate peanut butter chocolate. That's my jam. That is absolutely my jam. I freaking love it. Which one did you like? You had cookies and cream?
Yeah.
Cookies and cream.
I really want to try the berry one, but that's the one I got to mix.
I also had, what's that one? The maple one?
This is maple brown
I also
sugar.
had that one. That one tastes effing amazing. Like, too good.
This is the one I gave to one of the WSOP floors.
That one's really,
I keep seeing all this Oats Overnight stuff. What is this? I go, well, it's Oats Overnight. Explain. He goes, oh, I've been wanting to try that.
That one tastes like pancakes with syrup.
Yeah, I gave him this one. He said, this is my jam. This sounds right on my alley.
And it's incredible. I think they only have 9 grams of sugar in them too. So that's really good. And 15, if you have these packs, it's 20 grams of protein. If you have the bottles, it's 15 grams of protein. So good stuff there from Oats Overnight. The monster stack also playing down. 54 remain from the field of 9,920 entries. Those final 54 are guaranteed $23,100 with $1.2 million up top. Santiago Montes, there, leads the way. Who else we got in that one? Ash Gupta, Kangaroo Crew. Oh my gosh, Ash Gupta is there. What's he done? I want to say he won a bracelet, but no, he did not win a bracelet.
No.
Clemens Reuter. Who the heck drafted Clemens Reuter? I mean, seriously, he's in there. Dylan Lindy, he got drafted. He's still in there. Anyone else?
We have Stephen Foyty. We have Daniel Giba. He final table with the WPT with that big event, High Park.
Nick Funaro, 4th in chips.
Michael Ruan.
Wow. Okay.
Previous November Niner. And Miles Mullally, PGT Rig.
Miles Mullally is still in there.
Still in the mix.
David Uvedov is also in there. Okay. This is a pretty decent field. All right.
As a reminder, final table on PokerGO Wednesday.
I feel like this final table is still 7 weeks away, but okay, yeah.
It's about 36 hours.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying this is a long, drawn-out tournament, very player-friendly structure. So yeah, good stuff there. Be sure to check it out on PokerGo.com. 27 remain in the $2,500 Omaha high-low / stud high-low. Those 27 come from a field of 575. First place, almost $245,000. They are guaranteed $7,771. Tobias Hawson leading the way. Who else is in there? Shirley Rosario, always crushing is Shirley Rosario. Jason Daly, Chris Clausen, a.k.a. Spewy. What's this stuff down here? Well, that's other people in chips? These people are all left?
These are all the people that's left. This is the most stacked.
What in the world?
3 and a bit tables remaining.
I was like, did these people bust?
No.
This is...
Sorry, this is their chip rank. I didn't want to put the chips in everyone. I gave you the top 3. Read these names off. These are the guys still in the tournament.
Benny Glauser, Ryan Hughes, Brian Rass, Gary Benson, shout out Kangaroo Crew, Sean Deeb, John Turner, a.k.a. Pearl Jammer, Phil Helmuth, Gus Hansen, Gabe Ramos, Robert Wells, John Kite, and Jim Colopy. I mean...
This is stacked. This is the...
Tom McCormick is still in there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot him.
Linda Tran is still in there.
This could be an incredibly awesome final table if it breaks that way.
Yeah, this is wild. I mean, not that we would ever cover this because it's this horrible game.
It's got 6 more days left, by the way. Six more days of OE coming up. But yeah, it is a very stacked field remaining of the 27 that are left.
No, that is definitely good stuff. You had Dylan Smith finished in 32nd. You had Anson Sang in 39th. You had Felipe Ramos in 46th. James Ops, another member of the Kangaroo Crew. 52nd. Andrew Brown, 59th. Owais Ahmed, Alan Lee, Huckseed. So our boy, Nico didn't cash? Damn, Nico, man. Come on.
What's he doing?
Good question. The 10K Razz Championship got underway today. This one should beat... Its registration still open, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think it will. I think it will beat last year.
Well, I was also going to say it'll beat the Limit Hold'em at 118, I think.
That should crush that one. Limit Hold'em.
Yeah, no, I know, but you would think more people play Limit Hold'em than Razz, right?
The toughest part about this one is... I believe the restart for this is 12. The restart for the Big O is 1. And there's a few players in that Big O, Victor Blum, Marco
silly.
Johnson, Phil Hui, that would have definitely probably played the Razz Championship. And the fact they didn't play it out tonight kind of hurts them. So, that's obviously going to affect the numbers by 3. You're going to get Daniel Negreanu, that's, fresh off his 9th place elimination. He'll probably jump in this tomorrow. And then we'll see kind of where else it falls here.
Some of these names are just not real in this tournament.
I mean, look at the names you just read from the OE. Think about all those names that are still in that won't fall in the Razz Championship.
Sure.
Benny Glasser, Brian Rass, Gary Benson, Sean
I can't believe
Phil
Helmuth is
Helmuth.
going to miss Razz.
The Razz
Doesn't
goat.
he say he's the best Razz player in the world? I mean, him
and Mickey Duff, best Razz players in the world.
Speaking of, I can't believe Mickey Duff is missing this tournament.
Red eye home to watch his silly hockey team.
Weird. Max Coleman is leading the way. He's coming off a final table in the... What the heck did Townley just win? He won the 1500 Razz. Townley. And Max Coleman made the final table.
That is it, yes.
But number 7, Renlin. I mean...
Does he know Razz?
There's no shot. I'm pretty sure he played this event last year, and we were wondering the same thing. There is still no shot that he knows anything,
I hope he wins this.
Anything about Razz. David Stam. I did not know he played
He
Razz.
doesn't know Razz either.
He's also in there.
Must have busted the seniors event.
I mean, it's just crazy when you see these like people getting in there.
Yeah.
Nico Milgram did bag, it looks like. And plenty of big names bagged. You got Alex Livingston's in there. You got Calvin Anderson. Calvin Anderson's like Mr. Razz himself. Lee Ramos is in there. Dario Aliotto is in there. Max Pescatori, John Racner, Max Hoffman. Christian Roberts had no idea he played Razz either, but he's in there. Brian Yoon also in there. John Hennigan, Nick Schulman, they bagged. Your boy again, James Office is back in there.
Kangaroo.
Dimitri Urbanovic, Ali Eslami. This is day 1 of 3, possibly 4 events or days in this event. So stay tuned for this one as we go. We'll see how big this field size gets with registration still open on Tuesday. George Alexander, defending champion, still in too. 11th place on the leaderboard to wrap up day 1 there. The 3K, no limit hold'em. This was Six Max, right?
It is, yes.
69 remain. Nice.
Let me ask you a question before you continue.
1421.
What's the field bonus in this event? 1421.
In this event?
Yeah.
27.
Damn. Thought it was going to be a lot higher. Okay.
No, it's 18, and then for every 1,000 entries, you add 9 more.
Got it. All right.
Why?
You keep reading, buddy.
I mean, it's right there. The effing king. So first place in this one, $574,000. 216 were in the money. They are guaranteed $8,100, almost $8,200. Ori Hassan leading the way. Matthew Wantman is also up there, but it's all about Steven Song. Steven Song.
You gotta keep reading,
you gotta
keep reading.
Uri. Reichenstein. I mean, these guys are the greatest.
That's why Hassan went
Let's
the field
go.
bonus.
Come on.
Come on.
Okay, so Tyler Cornell is in. He's a beast when it comes to... He doesn't play a huge volume, Tyler Cornell, but every time he plays, he's like just deep. Every single time. Brian Altman is in there. I mentioned Steven Song. Let's freaking go, specialist, buddy. Oh, by the way, quickly, because it's on my mind right now, Jeremy Osmond's just effed in this stupid effing 250K. I mean, it's just unreal how bad this shit is happening.
What was the hand with him?
Just losing like just shit over and over again. It's like can't win a flip, can't do anything right. It's just ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he gets it all in, I think, with ace queen against jacks. Comes queen in the door, right, jack right behind it.
That's
just
rubbish.
It's like what is happening?
Rubbish.
That stupid hand in the limit hold'em the other day when he had sixes to fours. I mean, it's just like this is bullshit for Jeremy. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Come on. Guy's the greatest tournament player in the world. He's just getting screwed left and right. At least we got Seth in that tournament, but holy crap, man. I mean, come on. Chris Moorman, Brian, this is back to the 3K. Chris Moorman, Brian Hastings, Jason Wheeler, Stoyan, Maranjiv. I probably butchered that last time, man. I should know how to say it because I've had him on commentary before. Paul Volpe, Davide Katai. Oh, he's a beast. Haven't seen that name, I feel like, in a while. Kyle Julius is out here again. Victoria Lifshitz, Danny Wong, Uri Reichenstein, and Justin Liberto, who's having a summer.
He is, yeah.
Justin Liberto, don't sleep, which I think he went deep in the Big O today.
Yeah, he finished like 10th
and then
or 10th.
so obviously went over there and
10th
and did well in that 3K. So, all right, we got 2 shots for a field bonus here. So, boys and girls, please, for the love of God. I mean, the field bonus on this one is not huge. It's going to be 14 points, 15 points if you get to the top 27. But would absolutely friggin' love if these guys this is that 3K that's a 2-day event, right?
Yes, correct.
It's fast.
Yeah, super fast.
So here's what we need. Basically, we need what Jeff and Brent got a couple days ago. They got Kuhn and Shulman, double winner. We need Seth winning the 250. We need Song and Reichenstein make the final table of this 3K. Like, is that too much to ask?
Just get them heads up.
Can we just have it happen? Can we just have it happen, baby? Come on, boys and girls. Please, one time. David Jackson also in there. He's a crusher. This guy here, Anatoly Nikitin.
Mm-hmm.
Joe McKeon said we should start putting him on
that's
any
right.
and
Yeah,
all
you
feature
said that.
tables. So he's just somebody to watch, I think, over the course of the summer. I saw a bit of him. He was absolutely out of his mind, entertaining. So he would be a good one. So very, very good field here remaining in this 3K Six Max. The Seniors Championship, that's the 1K, right? 1K
Yes.
buy.
Yep.
That kicked off today. Would they start at 8 a.m.? Coffee and a newspaper at every coffee and
it did
newspaper
feel
and,
like
and a donut at every seat, right?
And
that's
a scooter charger too.
That's how they did it.
Yeah.
How many did that get?
They had 3,365. They bagged up 621.
Is that good? Is that number good? That number feels low.
Trying to pull it up. I'm pulling up. They've already got 1,200 registered for tomorrow.
Oh, it's multiple starting days.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
And as last I checked, they didn't import the chip counts yet. There's no live reporting for this one. So let's quickly check. No chip counts pushed through to day 2
That's
yet.
a bummer.
But either way, 600 left in that.
I love this event. I always love the seniors events. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. All right. So, unfortunately, we don't have too much to update there just because we don't have all the details yet. But with 2 starting flights, we'll be able to check in on this one on the next episode of the podcast, and we'll watch it as it goes. We'll see if we get another deep run from some bigger names. I feel like bigger names are starting to get into the seniors a little bit more. So we'll see if we see that one. Of course, the seniors high roller the other day was won by David ODB Baker. Shouts to him once again. It says duck up here.
Yeah.
What's the duck up?
I got another duck up.
What'd you do?
Spoke to a couple players out there today. You know what? Gave away a lot of hats
Okay.
to the seniors playing today, and one of them came up and they go, I sided with Donnie. I'm like, oh, here we go. What kind of idiot is this?
I mean, this is just par for the course. Everyone sides with me.
He said, you guys were talking about wealth of the senior citizens the other day that's playing this event, and I think Donnie's right. I think there's more money
Because they're boomers.
now. I go, well,
the boomers have all. Don't you know that there's this huge wealth transfer thing that everyone's talking about? When all the boomers unfortunately pass away, they're going to transfer like $1 bazillion trillion to all their young people. So basically, all the young people are just sitting around waiting to just inherit the money from all their boomer parents. That's like a huge thing that's coming.
Okay. Well,
They're all rich.
the way I look, my financial education very recently consuming Caleb Hammer YouTube videos. Shout out Caleb Hammer. A lot of old people on there that they really mess their finances up. So I think my thinking was very flawed. But he said, we were talking more about the field, right? The tournament play. And he said, you're probably right that, the average senior citizen isn't well off. They're working at Walmart, etc. But the senior citizens here playing poker,
Yeah, that's
they have
what I
the
mean.
money. So yes, I'm going to have a duck up. I didn't really think.
They're all
change.
retired.
Yeah,
they're talking to the wives
Yep.
or the husbands, and they're like, hey, listen, I'm retired now. We got some money in the bank. We just sold the house. We got a condo. We're going around. I'm going to effing Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm playing the World Series. That's what they're all doing.
Yeah. So there's the duck up.
They're all, you know what they are? They're all Cliff Josephes walking around. That's what they all are.
Okay.
That's what they all are. All of them. I talk to a lot of these guys. They're like, I'm on the board for this company. I do this. I'm retired. I own 17 companies.
The guy I was talking to today said, I sold my business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
That's
These
why
are
I
these
said it.
guys.
Look, I admit it. Duck up. My bad. Let's move on.
Exactly. These guys are all loaded.
Well,
Like
that's
if
gonna be us
you're
soon.
trying to get any action, you go to the seniors event. You try and drum up some action,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe we can
That's
find a
what you
steak.
got to do. Tell me about this ARIA High Roller Series. What the heck's going on
It
over
was
there?
second event of 11
Well, who
today.
won the first one?
First one was won by Griffin Paul. So it was his second PGT title. He defeated Richard Greco. Heads up, King John Riordan there finished in third place. Richard Green, sixth place. Today, smaller field. Six players are in the money. King John eliminated in fifth. Final four said, you know what? We got the good guy out. We're going to chop it up four ways.
The good guy out.
They chopped it up four ways. Vessel and Karakutukov.
Oh, look, Yanni decided to play a
Yanni
tournament.
turned up. The golf. He finished his round of 18 or maybe 36. Who knows? He chopped it up with Stephen Hubbard, Vesselin, and Sean Raphael. Vesselin getting the winner's tick and $79K in his pocket. He also finished seventh in the first event. So Yeah, those two events. We've got a little bit of time off. Exactly a week next Monday. So from Monday to Thursday, June 23rd to June 26th, we've got 4 10K PLO events. They basically start after the 50K PLO has finished and wrap up just prior to the 10K PLO championship and, you know, that big 100K that follows that later in the series. But yeah, slow start, but we kind of expected that with Father's Day and PLOs not really kicking up for a little while longer. But yeah, studio's open.
All right. Sweet. Now you got to tell me about this Bob Smith
Bob
Day.
Smith Day. Well, got some photos. Hopefully producer Rich put some about here.
They're not going to go about here, by the way. They're going to go full screen.
I know, but I like, you know why I do this? I'm gonna send both of you this video. There is a YouTuber called Eric the Electric. Have you heard of this guy?
No one grinds YouTube harder than this guy.
Yeah,
I mean, it
that's
is outrageous.
Eric
the
the
stuff
Electric.
that this guy watches. What were you watching? Like Division 12 footy?
Yeah.
I mean, what? Who the
Division
hell?
12 Rezzies, man.
I mean, those guys are outrageous. I mean, if you think Tim looks Australian, I mean, holy shit! You need to look up.
Should we put another picture?
You need to look.
Right?
You need to look. Yeah, we should put another picture right here of these guys. Maybe we just insert a clip. Who the hell knows? They'll probably like.
Okay, the reason I do this was there's a YouTuber called Eric the Electric, right?
Okay.
And he does food eating videos. The guy's jacked. He does triathlons and stuff, and he's eating something crazy, and then he puts his hand up like this. He's like fire, and then like fire emoji goes above his hand. And like a lot of these YouTubers are doing that now. They're like using their hands and then they put the stuff above it.
If you keep doing this right now, Rich is gonna put the fire.
I hope he
in.
does. I hope he just fire. But like I see that so much, and I feel like Rich could have a lot of fun with that, just like he did the duck up. Fire here. Okay. Anyway, the Bob Smith Day. Anyone that's been in the World Series knows Bob Smith. Tall, old guy, bit of a bad hip. Great guy, 20 years of WSOP service. Me and Charlie Cerisi, our friend Charlie Cerisi, cooked up this idea last year to have a Bob Smith Day. No reason. It's not his birthday. No reason. We were all going to dress up.
Okay.
And, you know, all the TDs around here, the morning shift, as they call them, you know, they all wear suits and ties. So we said, let's get 10 custom ties of Bob Smith, right? And I said, I'll figure it out. I'll get a shirt of some sort. So me and Charlie cooked this up, you know, a couple months ago. We designed the tie, got them ordered. Fortunately, Charlie's not here at this World Series. He's at home. But we thought, you know what? We're still going to keep this idea alive. We organized it for Sunday. We thought Father's Day would be good, but, you know, a little busy here. So we pushed it to today, Monday. And we told Bob, hey, Bob, everyone is wearing blue suits. Make sure you wear blue suits. He's like, done. Everyone else, though, wore gray suits and a black shirt. And then, obviously, the Bob Smith tie. Me, though, I don't wear a suit, obviously. I'm either in cowboy boots or short shorts. I wear a T-shirt. And if Rich puts a picture out here, you'll see I'm wearing a Bob Smith T-shirt. And we all kind of, you know, I think a lot of people kind of didn't really understand what was going on, but got to it. They thought it was fun. We put Bob Smith Day on the clocks in the room here in the Horseshoe. And to be honest, it's just having a bit of fun during the World Series. It's 55 days. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It's, you know, it can be stressful, and it's kind of good to have a bit of fun sometimes. And this was our little, you know, if you think about it, we're about 23 days in. Have a little bit of fun. Bob loved it. Bob loved the attention. A lot of people were taking photos with Bob and taking photos of the ties and the T-shirt. And I think it was just, a little bit of fun. And we'll probably do it every year. We'll just randomly pick a day and celebrate Bob Smith. So that's really all it is.
I mean, I thought it was cool when I saw you guys dressed up like that.
Yeah, you know what? And I said people were offering some of the guys $200 to get the tie.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Look
Some
at
people
that.
might be making some money out there on
you
reselling
know,
the ties.
You could just sell the Bob Smith.
Yeah, limited
ties.
edition.
I mean,
Bob
you can make
Smith
a whole
ties.
thing. You can make, you know, Bob Smith bucket hats,
Yeah.
Bob Smith shirts like the one you got on. You could have a whole store.
Exactly, the Bob
A
Smith
whole
store.
freaking store. One more thing quickly. Your form throwing a football sucks. Holy hell. I saw you on stream. It was
The
horrendous.
ones before were on stream were a lot better.
That was horrendous. You just
Remember-
stick to rugby or whatever the hell you
I was going
play.
to say, I've probably thrown a football 38 times in my life. So for someone
Oh.
that's not American, I think I'm pretty good.
It was horrendous.
I can get you out on the football field with me if you want to kick a Aussie rules football. See how your form is.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll suck.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Frank had a little bit of bite to it.
No, whatever. That guy's a disaster. Another thing. I don't know if you heard Martin Kabrhel. I mean, you probably heard
I heard him. But yeah,
talking about how he's like a water snob. You hear this?
I did not hear that.
He was talking about how he's all into water. He was drinking Evian up there, but then at one point, Bryn Kenny said, "How can you be a water snob? You're drinking out of a plastic bottle."
Oh,
Which is true. Honestly, you can't be a water snob. You're either drinking out of stainless steel or you're drinking out of glass.
That is true.
End of story.
How do you fill it up with?
Out of my thing at home. As I told you.
Normally you take the bottles of water and you pour it in there.
No, I only do that when I run out of water. When I drink a lot of water during the day, because they have all these water bottles around, these water jugs around. Have you ever actually tried to use one?
No,
you might as well stand there.
We have water in our fridge.
You might as well stand there for 12 minutes and wait for the water to come out. It might as well come out two drops at a time. It is unbelievable. Okay, unbelievable.
I must say, a lot of people have watched the water video from the last episode.
Yeah,
and they commended you on doing such an excellent job at guessing the water.
That's right.
I think I think you shocked yourself a little bit. I was very shocked that you basically crushed it. But a lot of people said, "Yeah, I was surprised Donnie nailed that one."
I mean,
they all said Dasani was very easy, but everything else was more difficult.
I mean, Dasani's got a taste. Someone today told me they were an Aquafina guy. Oh, okay. Jeff Walsh.
Jeff Walsh comes over. I think you were on commentary.
No, I saw him walk in when I was walking.
With the box of. Oh, that's right. And he's like, "Hey, I got some Coke Zeros. Can I give them to you guys?" I was like, "Of course, I'm going to take Coke Zero." He brings the box.
Martin Kabrhel told you today.
That was going to be my follow-up. So
you're going to die if you keep drinking.
Me and Martin had some incredible conversations there. Jeff Walsh brings this big box of Coke Zeros. Fantastic. We'll drink them. But then in there with the jumbo Aquafinas. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. My plants do need watering, so maybe I might take it there. But yeah, I was drinking Coke Zero. Martin goes, "You shouldn't drink that. You're going to die soon."
That's actually what he said.
Yeah, on live when he was at the feature table.
I mean, he said some shit today.
He said, "You're doing an excellent job. You can go home." I said, "I can't go home until we finish." He goes, "Okay." He said,
He took our guys' cameras at the start of the day.
Yeah, he did.
He gave Dan and Negreanu a present, which I can't wait to see in the vlog.
He asked the dealer how many mistakes you've made today. And he said, "Nah." And he goes, "Very good." He asked me how many mistakes I've made. I said, "At least 17. And he goes,
at one point, he looked at this dealer who was named Jeff. And he said something like, "I'm a big fan of El Paso and Munich."
Okay. That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Nothing makes any sense. I'm telling you guys, if you missed this stream,
he also
had
said
everything in it.
This is the funny thing. When we redrew the 2 tables, so 16 players, he goes, "Can we stay here?" And then we were trying to figure out like where they could go. And like Ant, the tournament was like, "Are we okay if they say?" I'm like, "It's fine." And he goes, I don't want to go up there. I go, "It's not up to me, Martin." He goes, who's in charge? And I go, "It doesn't matter. It's not up to me." And he goes, How much for us to stay here? I don't want to go up there." He goes, I said to him, "Man, you don't have enough money." And he just smiled. And he's like, "Really?" I go, "You don't have enough money."
Wow.
Because it's random. I'm not like when it gets to 2 tables, we're just going to random, like we're not even going to hunt the player. Just going to pick the table, set it up because they have to switch one more time. So he's a interesting cat, that Martin Kabrhel.
Interesting is probably putting it lightly. It was just an all-time stream. I mean, just absolutely all-time stream. All right, cool. That's going to do it for us. It's 2:43 in the morning. We got to get the hell out of here. That's Tim Duckworth over there. I'm Donnie Peters, and we'll talk to you guys on the next episode.
See ya.